Okay, I have a hand for you. It's pretty simple, but it's a river sizing.
Okay.
Targeting a very specific range.
Sure.
I wanted to see what your thoughts were.
You got it.
So I have a 5-5 at the Hustler, like
Yep.
usual.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Straddle going on permanently. So I'm in the Straddle with 7-8 of hearts.
Okay.
2 limps, a guy in the cutoff who has been playing pretty tight pre-flop. We're about 1,600 or so effective.
Okay.
He makes it 45 over 2 limps, and I make kind of a questionable call in the Straddle with 7-8 of hearts. And both limpers come along.
So how deep are you guys?
About 1,600.
Okay, so 1,600 effective. This guy makes it 45 over 2 limps, and it's back over to you and you call? Or did somebody call in between?
He made it 45 over 2 limps, and then I'm in the so he's in the cutoff. So
Right.
I am in the Straddle. I call, and then the 2 limps come along after me.
Right, so you don't necessarily know if the limps are going to come along either. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I would almost rather 3-bet this hand. I mean, it really depends on the player, but it's tough to play this hand from out of position. I mean, I know you're deep, and it's to 45, but man, I just, sometimes when I'm playing sloppy, I play these types of hands, and it's just, I don't think it's a profitable defend, but whatever. You call, and the limpers call.
Limpers call, so we're 100 and pot's about 180.
Okay. Yep.
The flop comes king, queen, queen with 2 hearts, and it gets checked around.
Okay, so it's checked around. Okay.
The turn is a 10 of hearts, giving me the flush.
Okay.
I lead for 100.
Yep.
Both limpers fold, and the original raiser, he calls pretty quickly.
So what's the deal with this raiser? What do you think about his game? What do you think he has?
He's been playing really snug pre-flop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I think when he raises, it's pretty much like, like 9s plus, like king, queen plus, ace, jack plus, kind of that type of guy.
Yeah. So obviously when the 10 comes in, I mean, some of the hands that you lose to here that might naturally check back on the flop is, a slow-played monster, right? A slow-played monster in the form of like pocket kings, king, queen, right?
Yeah.
Pocket 10s, you lose to that. You also, but some of the hands that he might now continue with that you're ahead of is a hand like ace jack, especially with a heart in it, which is a turn straight. And I mean, sometimes these guys will pot control like ace king, like they'll check it back. But I think that the hand's definitely going to reveal itself at the end, because I think what happens here, Squishy, is that, we always talk about this, if he has a hand now, if he has a hand that he's calling on the turn, it's probably a medium strength to a strong hand, and I don't think he's going to turn that into a bluff on the river. Do you see what I mean? It's not like if the river's an offsuit deuce and you bet on the river, he's going to raise with the ace jack with the ace of hearts, right? See what I'm saying?
Exactly. So I figure pretty much, if I get a safe card on the river, I can just bet, and then if he raises, it's an easy fold. He's got kings or king queen,
or 10s. Yeah.
Or 10s, yeah.
Yeah, even if if he even raises with that, yeah.
So the river rolls off an offsuit jack.
Offsuit jack, okay.
And my question here is sizing. If we're targeting, first of all, my question would be how much ace king does he have in his range?
Mm-hmm.
And, how much ace jack, how much ace X does he have in his range that we can target here? Because I don't think he's ever folding a straight.
You don't think he's ever folding a straight? By the way, another hand that makes sense for him to have now that you don't beat is pocket jacks, right?
Exactly.
Pocket jacks is full. I mean, okay, so say he's got 16 combinations of ace jack pre. Okay. Well, now he only has 12 combinations, right? And the ace jack might play it this way. Now, how many combinations of ace king does he have? Let's say he's got them all. How often would he check back? There's 12 combos on the flop. Maybe he checks back half of them. So maybe 6 combos of ace king. 6 combos of ace jack, so that's 12. Then you look at like pocket kings, there's 3, pocket jacks, there's 3, that's 6 combinations. Pocket queens, that's 1, right? That's 7. Pocket tens, that's 3, that's 10. And then maybe like some king queens. I think it's probably like really, really close here. I think you're ahead a slight amount of the time here, probably, if he does open ace jack all the time and he checks back some ace kings. But it's probably pretty close. And if you knew, we don't know this guy's tendencies necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know like how often he raises ace jack and things like that. But, you know, a case could be made against some players that are a little bit more snug that you might just check and hope and goes check, check here. You know, I think it maybe comes down to the crux of how often does he check back ace king on the flop or aces.
Okay, so so if you bet, you would most likely go small. You would check or bet small.
Yeah, I mean, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, if you said that he's going to call no matter what with a straight, then the sizing probably doesn't really deviate. It's like, let's say you're ahead here 55% of the time, right? And you're behind 45% of the time. But you know of the 55% of the time he's always going to call, then you just size it to what he's going to call, right? Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, the only case to size
exactly.
down would be if you think that a smaller bet gets looked up more often. But I think what you're telling me is that he's just always going to call with a straight.
Yeah, and that was kind of my feeling. So I went kind of larger. I kind of felt this could be a mistake, but I made it 300.
Okay.
Into a pot of 380-ish, I guess.
Okay.
And he tanked for about 4 to 5 minutes and finally called, and he had pocket jacks.
He had pocket jacks, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is all combinations, really. And then you're also making an assumption, though, that he always calls with an ace. But, excuse me, if we go through the theory behind it, like I said, if he always raises with ace jack and plays it this way, he's got 12 ace jacks. He's got 12 ace jacks at the end. And then if he plays ace king half of the time this way, he's got 6 ace kings. So you're looking at about 18 combos of aces. I'm not even including pocket aces that he might check, but let's just do it this way. But then we're behind to 3, 6, 9, 10, maybe 13 or 14. So it's really, really close.